This is Sunday Breakfast. Welcome. Just gone by the news review segment. My name is Jude Duncan, and of course, I'm here with
Inu Safo. What are you thinking about?
Why not? You know, it's on Saturdays. My favorite segment of the show is definitely the What's Happening segment. But on Sundays, I don't think we need any.
It's this segment.
Definitely.
With the Reverend Cephas.
Definitely.
Amartey, yeah.
Haywood,
because,
Amartey.
you know, sometimes when you expect him to go one way, it's like, nah.
Yeah.
Like last week, I was shocked with the letters that came in.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's interesting. Reverend, thank you so much for joining us once again.
Well, thank you. But Charlie, this morning, so, you know, I wanted to put on a hat today.
Yeah.
I said, oh, no, but I should have. And I virtually doff it to you. We have a lady in red today.
Yeah.
And she is just
smashing it.
Smashed it. This is Channel One with the lady in red. Beautiful.
Thank you so
gorgeous.
much, Reverend Amartey. Thank
Wow.
you so much. But you know, as always, this show is live and interactive, so you can join us with your questions. 0204-447-033. 0204
Am I hearing something in the background?
033. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
What? You're coming to dance?
Why not? Yeah, give me a few seconds. That's right. Wow, I love this. That's a lovely one. That's the lovely one. Nothing like Channel One. Wow.
You are the girl. No, you are the girl. Oh, Charlie.
She's
You didn't fall too much. You know, I told you yesterday, I posted a picture of
Seriously, you
us.
look good. Yeah, okay.
And I was offended because, like, I posted a picture,
But
nobody
all the
could give
yeah,
a hoot about me. So, yo, you therefore, oh, Charlie.
I'm blushing. If black girls can blush, I'm blushing.
what are you
Thank you
doing
so
for?
much.
Gorgeous.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Superb.
Wow.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay,
beautiful.
so back to the show.
Right.
Before
That's a lot
anything
of
else. So we're about to talk about upbringing.
Yeah.
Yes, and so if you have any questions, any
principles of
input,
it.
the principles of upbringing, do send your messages to the WhatsApp number 0204 447 033 0204 447
And it's straight away, it's about raising the child up at various levels till they get closest and closer to adolescence. So, like I said, being a baby, you start with them from childhood and everything, and you get them to listen. You know, when a baby is born, the baby is born, is with us. Various levels of or types of parenting in many ways influence the kind of child we're going to get. So the input, the output will be determined by the inputs that we make over the period. And I remember talking about the fact that one of the first things we teach children is that is self-control. And so in doing that, parents must establish self-control and establish that with their tears. Because of course, in time as a mother, with other people around, more experienced parents or friends, you get to understand the science of the tears. And I did say that one of the first things you do is teaching the child, letting the child know that you will always be picked up and carried and loved. But we don't do that because you're crying.
Right.
Because that's one of the ways you reinforce, you know, a little bit of balance, emotional balance for the child. So I talk about listening, of course, that we have to train kids to listen. Just listen. You don't have to like what is being said, but you have to listen. So it's one of the ways parents must get time, let the children learn to listen. I also talked about I didn't really talk about it exactly, but it ties to the listening. That is to sit down. I remember you asked a question about what happens when I said they should sit.
Yeah.
You got to learn to be positional. You understand? It's important that we learn to sit. We learn to wait, because it's part of the structures of life. You have to learn to. Ultimately, if you don't know how to wait, you know, for those little moments you have been asked to sit while they even prepare breakfast, because you don't want to have a child nibbling away at stuff while you are preparing. You know, so you teach them that structure, because if you don't teach them how to learn to even wait, that tantrum, that 3 months, 6 months, 2, 5, 7, 12-year-old tantrum is the one you see 24 years when they're in traffic. And that leads to road rage. So we need to have that element of learning to sit and listen. Parents must reinforce that. It's all part of the structure you give, because the first 5 years is really the time you have to discipline the child. Discipline the child. They don't know much. And one of the things too is to respect, and I want to touch on this today, that parents must teach their children, first of all, to respect the bed. The bed, yes. Mpa, or like satchel. Yeah, the bed that the parents use. They teach them to respect it. And the reasons why. You don't think of it, but it's very important in the structure we give to children. Teach them to respect it, because the bed is the hallowed place, a hallowed place in the home. Now, it may not necessarily be, it might be, you could be sleeping on the floor or on a king-size bed, but you're going to have to establish that bed structure for the children, that this is where mom and dad sleeps. This is where dad sleeps. This is where mom sleeps. You don't walk on it. Those are little things you teach them, so reinforce them. Even to quite an age, whenever I had to go to see the old man at Adabraka, he will normally come out to talk to you. Kaneshi too is the same. You don't easily just jump into the bedroom. So it's important that we give them that structure as well. They have to respect that bed, because you see the bed, and even as grown-ups, it's not good to make your bed when you go back home. That's why we were in boarding house teaches us, and even military, all of them teach these structures. You must have your bed ready before you leave the house. So teach them to respect that bed space, because it's mom and dad's place. Very likely, apart from the kitchen or maybe one of those great crazy moments, it's likely you were conceived on that bed. King size bed or the mat, whatever. Any other thing can come in, whatever, but it's a structured place. They respect it. In fact, there are times when we're young, you know you are going to get well because you are not well, you are ill. And at a point, they allow you to sleep on mom and dad's bed. I mean, that that you are super special. So it's not much. A rich man can have it, a poor person can also have it. A place you lay down. There's a sense of feeling that, hey, I'm special today. And then sometimes from there you can start eating, because when you have malaria, don't eat much. So teach them how to respect the bed, and even the bedroom is important. Look, if you have children, and when the romantic anointing flees by, and you have to really lock the door with a key before you have some time together, there is a problem. May not be massive, but there is a problem. There may be a structural problem, because children must be trained such that once they are getting to a certain age, they realize now. In fact, if you train the first, and that's sometimes parenting is easy. Get the first child well trained. When you do that, the rest are easy, because the senior one can easily reinforce it, especially if they have quite some age difference there. He or she can also start teaching the other one. So when you train them like that, they don't enter. There's a point when kids must no longer enter the bedroom. Whether it's locked or not, they don't enter. I never said they don't have access. They have access, but they have respected access. So they knock. If they knock, they must understand that when you knock, it doesn't mean open and come in. You wait till, so those are part of the things you teach them. And of course, when you grow up, going to your boss's office, it helps you with that training in that small banana in or coconut house single room where 10 of you are living. When you have those structures in there, the same way when you are going to see maybe a senior staff, you know that others walk in and they may not comment. But even how you walk into your boss's office, as you walk into an office to see someone, a superior person or something, or even another group, how you conduct yourself speaks volumes about you. So sometimes, before you even sit for your interview, you have been interviewed already. Posture. Sure. So we should give the kids, this kind of structure in their lives. I think if we are able to do that for them, it will help them. Not only that, the other thing you must teach them as well about, look, I understand, we want to be, look, we talk about democracy and sometimes we don't get it. See, democracy does not mean there are no limits. And liberty without restriction is meaningless. I mean, there has to be structures. Because what do they say? That your right ends where mine begins. And so one of the things we should also teach children is a very simple thing, and it is this. Very, very simple thing that children must be taught as they grow 5 and above. You must give them something. And one of them is about food, health. Look, you don't tell children to teach you what they want to eat. Those are special occasions. whatever you are, these are part of the structures you are giving them. Because look, I'm talking about their health. At the age of 4 to 14 and somewhere beyond, you don't really understand that. You know you want to take Cerelac instead of cocoa. You know you want to take these pop stuff and all that. I don't want to call the name, but like, because I'm not undermining them. Yeah. You don't want to take these things instead of maybe Tom Brown and all that. That's fine. There are times you can give them that leverage, but they can't have it all the time. If you understand what I'm saying, they can't have that way all the time. Because between 4 and 14 years, you don't know what the balanced diet is. Your school will teach you mango, vitamin A, whatever. The sun, you draw some vitamin D from there. Fine. So, vitamin C, orange, whatever. Right. That's cool. But you don't understand the structure of a balanced diet. And if you know, it may be for a day. But for the 30 days in a month or 31 days, you don't know it. Mm-hmm. So you must reinforce, let the children eat what is said before them. Right. It's very, very important. Very, very important. If you teach them that very well and they enter SHS1 and they have their provisions, apart from the one that will be stolen, which is part of the structures, because it's not, they will steal you, yeah. Apart from that one, which is part of it, you have a child who understands that out of 1,000 plus people, we cannot eat in the dining hall, unless for medical exceptions. I'm not on a special diet. But apart from that, you eat what is there. And then having taken that one, you still have your backup. Of course, those who still will share a bit of it, but you may still have something to keep. So these are all part of the things we are teaching them. You don't train a child, how we this. Look, I was having an issue with a friend. I was just sharing with her about a child. She has a wonderful daughter, and I said, do this, do that, just sharing, Sometimes you wish you can have a baby again, because you have learned so much and you want to impart. That's where maybe grandkids come in. So I said, the child will eat it. And kids have to reinforce their independence because that's part of their development. Now, what happens is that if you do it right, they will eat it. Unless it is allergy, it is something extreme, they will take it. If they don't take it that moment in the morning, let it be there. When they come hungry, this is all I have. Teach them to accept what is there. Because it's part of the structure in their lives. That is the way they can learn. That's also the way they will learn to manage 3-4 dresses and save money to buy land. Yeah. Very, very important. You can't the most, body now, you see some people enjoying. Some of them have an overflow because so much is available, but not all of us have that balance. So it's important as a parent that when it comes to their meals, because that determines their health later, apart from accepting genetic and other few circumstances, your meal determines how your health for tomorrow. If you are fed right at the right time, over the period, you will be better because your system is there. When we had this dreaded, 2019 issue, virus, the coronavirus, COVID, corona and all that, we realized, we found out something, that even though the problem was there, it works strongest where the system is weakest. So how strong you can resist it basically came down to how your body system was, the level of your body system at the time the virus hit you. So we started going with the value of vitamin C, then we talked about the zinc, and we have orange and all that. And we recognize all these things that we needed. So I think it's important as parents that we bring our children up well and save ourselves money from the hospital. Because if we don't handle them very well, that's also a problem. Because if you don't eat well, a child who is not eating well is a sick child. That's true. It's just a matter of seconds, a matter of time. If you get cold regularly, that's an issue. Up to today, they still don't have a cure for cold. So we have to bring them up well and nurture them well.
Reverend Cephas, so I wanted you to also talk to us about the role of cultural influences, right?
Yeah, we're going to get there.
We are going to get there.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, because you have to start growing because you can hear about culture.
That's true.
You have to know a bit about food balance because then you learn at a point how to appear in red on Sunday morning. That's very, very important.
I like that.
Yeah, so that is one. And then the other one is cleanliness. Now, I hear them, I've grown up, all of us have grown up hearing this word. Cleanliness is what?
Next to God.
I don't think so. I think cleanliness is godliness. That's what it is. It's godliness. And talking about cleanliness, Charlie, is tough. If we don't, and that's where we even have to question the quality of friends. We don't have quality friends these days. A quality friend is the one who pulls me away and says, Charlie, check your breath. A quality friend is the one who says, Charlie, for the past 1 week, Charlie, why? You money, you credit, we don't get roll on. Those are the structures we need. We must bring children up to just detest death, because that is also health. Cleanliness is so important. Take how to take care of your body. And of course, before then, if you have a daughter, as a mother, don't be on the phone monitoring daddy's calls and leave the house help to attend to a 3-year-old girl. A 3-year-old girl needs to be managed very well because she doesn't, really give the life, but she carries the life.
True.
So you must handle her well and gradually give her the chance at a certain age to do a first free shower without water, without soap. And then you just shower her. You have to teach them. The boys, the underwear should not wait for 1 month before you wash it once, which we've done before, So you have to teach them, and then reward those things. Give those structures to them, because that is what will make the difference. Somebody may not be fired from ChannelOne, not because they are good producers, not because they are best in this or that, but because they appear clean and neat.
True. Reverend, people are sending in their messages. We want to collate a lot of them.
Sure.
Then we get you to address all of it.
Right.
So, if you are wondering how you could be a part of this discussion, you have a question for Reverend Cephas, Haywood, Amartey, 0204-447-033, 0204-447-033. We are discussing the principles of child development, and Reverend is starting right from the bottom,
right,
all the way up. So, Reverend Haywood.
Okay, so cleanliness. So that's it. Keep yourself neat wherever you are. We all have those things. Your room is this day, but let the bed be fine. Always keep your bed fine. No matter how the day goes, whether you're a policeman, whether you are a customs official, a city production team, a presenter, a producer, whatever you are, plantain seller, however terrible your day goes for you. No matter how the day has gone, no matter the good news, the bad news, the business you lost, whatever it is, you know that at the end of the day, you have a clean bed to lie on, so that you can just put yourself together and rise the following morning. Teach your children the same thing. Very, very, very important. So cleanliness is key, and then godliness. Look, keep a certain level of faith, and that ties in for me now, and I will do this for the first time since we started. The Bible is key. Because bring your children up to know God. There is something beyond you. There is something beyond us. It's not just about us. Life is not just. There has to be something. Even if we don't know it, you So the Ghan say, "Ata na." So the father, mother, God. Ata na nyumo. Trading upon whatever, all those appellations. There is something higher than you. At the end of the day, no matter how tall you are, someone may be taller than you, or there'll be a structure higher than you. So there's something above you. However strong you are, something may be stronger than you. So we need to believe in something. When you look at the trend, I don't go for coincidence so many times, but if you look at a certain trend, you must know that Charlie, no there's something beyond you and I. There's something, and so I think we must give that space, and I think we should look at the Bible. If that's the one I know, so if it's a Quran that you know, then you have to do it. I went to Accra in 1980. One Muslim gentleman, who as a classmate has always been somebody I've admired, is Sule. I think he's with the Ghana Chamber of Mines or whatever. He's the head there.
Sule Brahim also.
Yeah, that's my mate from Accra.
Okay.
Yeah, last time we did that because he was there. I always remember him, and I think one of the guys, as a fine gentleman who was always there, tolerant, playful. But for me, it's always fine. He always respected our faith. So I think we must believe in something, respect something. But as a believer, the one I read, cover to cover, so many times. And when I read with all the and Jemima begat and and Jude begat and Enoch was begotten. I read all that, And for me, one thing I would say today is, look, even if you don't see God coming, the principles in the Bible will help you to work in almost any organization and succeed and go to the top. Because for me, the Bible is key. So teach your children, if you can, the Bible. If your Quran, you can teach them. If something else, I don't know. But I recommend what I've used all these years till now. That for me, the Bible is a rapier of steel. It's not just a book. I don't see the Bible as just a book. I think it's a rapier of steel to be seized and used against principalities and powers of darkness. It is a weapon, and I think that if we tie our lives to it, it will help us. And I'll tell you why. Because when God said, "Thou shalt not steal," it's not because when you are sentenced at Yoko, God will go into the cell with you. When God said, a man must not be a drunkard. It's not because when you fall in the gutter, God will also trip and fall into the gutter. When God said a woman should not be a harlot, He's not saying so that you can become a wife. That everything the Bible tells us not to do, and we have violated it. We've broken the rules. We still break them, and we still see the consequences. So for me, if you can guide your children by the word or something higher than you, it will help. If you have those principles, it is fine. That's why the Bible even says respect, obey your parents. Then at some point it says honor them. So if we go by something higher, let your children know that there's something beyond them. Otherwise, they cannot get attacked. Yeah. There are people who don't just work for nothing. There are grandmothers who are praying for their children. Some people you see, some driver, some cleaner, you touch them, Master. The prayer from some grandmother, some Church of Pentecost 180-year-old great grandmother be praised for that child.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. So there's something in the system. You have to respect it. So I think we must teach children those things so that they can know. And then also respect social norms. And it comes to what you were talking about. You have to respect rules. And if you don't teach them to respect the bed, if you don't teach them to only enter when the door is open, they're not going to obey. They will know what the drive DVLA rules are, but they will violate them.
Sure.
They will see red things. We may all have jumped through it wrongly, but that there are people who make it their habit that they need to beat the red.
Right.
And many times you will be victimized because you are not going.
Yeah.
You are trained to follow the law. He has been brought up not to obey the law. So, bam, he hits you. So, we need to have the structure in our life, respect societal norms. You need to respect some rules and regulations. Even as a lady, when you're going to the washroom, it's good to tap. Because when you are there, nobody knows you are there. So when someone is there, you don't know. It's good to hello, just knock. Same goes for everywhere. I think these are some of the things as parents we must teach our children. We must also teach them respect. In every area of life, there are cultures, there are structure, there are systems. When you go somewhere, you can do this, you cannot do this. There are places when you go and you cross your leg, that's an offense. You can't cross your leg like this. You need to do something before you even take your seat. So we need to respect those norms, you understand? So it doesn't mean we believe in them, but you don't have to believe in everything. Just like somebody will not believe in what you believe, but they have to respect you because that's your belief. Right. But also it says that your right end where mine begins. True. And liberty without restriction is basically meaningless. So we need to respect those structures, and that's not all. One thing I want to talk about is lying, amali, intro. Look, I've lived, and I'll tell you this. Charlie, it will catch up with you. Don't lie. You don't talk about it, but as much as possible, of course, painfully. The one tribe I know with a painful proverb about lying is Ganso. Gans will say that, like whatever happens, if you get to a point, you will lie. My dear, I don't disagree with it, but I know that they are saying something. Because look, if the man's wife has entered this place with this man, and your word will determine what will outcome, are you going to tell him she's inside here? You need to find a way. So there are challenges that people go through. We'll discuss that. But basically, as a structure, lying doesn't help you.
Sure.
Look, one of the easiest guys to handle in this world, and I'm sorry, Chama, I don't want to call you, but one of the easiest guys I know, and I can tell you one, is Samuel Atabenza. Just don't lie to him. That's all. He will mark you off, but you told him the truth.
Yeah.
Likely, even if it took 5 years, he'll get back to you.
And the famous Christian maxim that says, "And the truth shall set you free."
Yeah. Charlie, don't lie.
It always comes through, right? Wow.
Yeah. And possibly confess. Don't be caught, but confess. So if you, Charlie, he will still give it to you, but just confess. Don't be caught. That's important.
Yeah.
If you deal with it, and that's important. And I remember once I was listening to one of the city programs, and that was the last year or so, and when Bernard started, and he was, I was laughing, like I was laughing at Bernard, because I'm like, his level of, decency can't tolerate what he was hearing. That you just sit and lie. Like you know you're coming to lie, you're lying, and I'm like, Bernard, it's normal for somebody, So lying, Charlie, avoid lying. That is not going to take you anywhere. So people should. I take my, Okay, so let me show you this. Okay, so the eldest daughter should be around 27 or something. I don't know, 20. I can't tell. Their ages, I can't tell. Those things can't even leave me to get sacked. But one of the rules, and this is how you teach them not to lie. This is important. If you had nothing today, hear this one before we go. When the kids were growing up, you don't lie in my household. No. Like if they are grown now, but if they say something to me, even if God said it, I'll take their word. And of course, I'm not saying literally, but it tells you teach them not to tell you the truth. Because there has to be a place where even if you couldn't and you had to lie somewhere, and if you can't, the truth cannot go to your mom and your dad or your mom and dad, then Charlie, there's a big problem. You teach them, so listen, throughout every child in my home, give them a Bible and a Quran and whatever, they'll tell you that's the fact. I have never had the power of any of the kids because they told the truth. I have never touched any child when it doesn't matter what it was. You no way up to date. I've never ever done it. Even God cannot find me guilty that I hit the child or no. The idea is that you want them to be truthful. So it's not sweet. It's bad. And even those who stayed with us, I remember this lady and Lucio Faye. She's from, fantastic lady. And I had this inverter, in the house, and I'd gone to Cape. I was coming back. I had the longest text message from the lady, Blofo. I'm like, wow, Lucy can write English. She did something, she was trying to change power or something. I had the inverter, it goes to the batteries and all that. And the thing blew. So I think it was my way to do. I said, I'm coming home. And Lucy sent me a long text. I said, Lucy, so I called. And you could see the tremor in the voice. I said, see, the inverter, the light, I was doing this and the thing makes a big noise and everything went off. I said, so please, I said, Lucy, what's wrong with you? What is it? Apart from that, is the house burning? He said, no. See, what the thing, and I don't know what to do now. I said, Lucy, no. Lucy, thank you. This is what I like. This is what I like about, that is what I want to hear. That I've done it. Okay, so now, is there light? He said, no. I said, okay, so go here, do this. Lucy, I'm around Winneba. I remember very well, I was just close to Winneba coming from Cape. And, I came home and, I was all over. I said, Lucy, come. Even before I turned into what the problem was. Because I knew what I would do. I just had to change the face, and then be okay. And so basically, teach them, encourage and celebrate when people are truthful.
Wow. Before we go, and we have just some questions.
There's a question here. How do I control my child since I stay far away from them? The work I do does not permit me to visit them often. I try to visit them once a month. What should I do different? Eric from Kufuria said that.
Yeah, okay. So that tells me that there was a challenge earlier, which all of us parents have failed in some ways. So maybe it was not reinforced, because if you had done it at the beginning, for you to be far away means somebody is managing them. So manage them through the person. And, sometimes you must okay, listen, your children, you are the parent who you see them as your children, but they don't see themselves as children. They are complete. That's why they can stand up to you. See a little boy, especially when they are very young, close they open it. That thing they are playing, they're establishing space. You get it? I don't want to. So yes, they are kids, but sometimes manage them with maturity that they can contain. So be straight with them, be truthful with them, and don't do that thing that we have all parents have done. Well, I never really did that. Don't say that. Don't overpromise them. No, don't overpromise kids things. No, don't always say do that, do this for it. That's wrong. That's wrong. So if you don't do it, they wouldn't do it. No. Teach them to understand that you don't do this. You don't do this. That's wrong. So be firm with them, love them, but give them guidance. You see, you can't establish a structural disciplinary line when you have no lady. Like I said last week, if you don't have the courage to point, don't expect the courage to convict to come to you. So they know that they shouldn't sit in the yellow chair, yellow sofa. That's for Eno. Sit in the wine thing or something. Well, that's for Jude. If you leave them, don't sit in the chair, it's relative. Which chair? So be clear and defined. Take one simple thing, start with the simplest. Let them understand they should be in their rooms at this time. Whoever is with them, give the person power. Because you see, you can't run the maid down before your children, and then when you drive out, expect them to respect the maid. Do you understand that?
True.
You can't run your maid or your house help down before your children. They are useless. And then when you go out, you leave those kids in their care. It's the insult. But you leave your mansion, your kitchen with the gas there, and your children with the person you are insulting. So honor your house helps. Honor your gardening guys. Let the children, because for me, I remember, hey, you can't do that. Yeah, that guy is taking you from school. I can't even do. Your mom is busy. You know, we can't even pay him what he deserves. I mean, it's not even a pay. And then you be flexing with him. No, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Wow.
Draw lines.
Reverend, thank you so much. You know, there are so many talking points and learning points from this that I'm not too sure which is my favorite, but I think the point is well made.
Yeah, but before we go, just a quick one. At a time will come, you know, we are phenotypic beings as well. Love will pick up for the young ones. Okay, so they'll go in, they'll fall in love and all that. If the structures are right, they can love somebody, but they can be straightened. And I always say to people, our problem begins with sex. You can date 2, 3 boys, you are casual, that's how it should be. But once you don't cross a certain line, it's easier. But remember that parents must, at a point, establish some an openness for their children, so that they can come to them with the emotional challenge. I think it's very key. You know, but we can't do all today.
Maybe we should expatiate a lot more on that.
Yeah, sure.
In subsequent ones. But thank you so much for your time, for your insights, right? You know, like Eno says, sometimes unconventional, but when you deep it, you see the sense and the wisdom in it, right? So, so grateful. He says, cleanliness is not next to godliness.
It is.
It is godliness.
Yes. Charlie, powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
So there you had it, Reverend Cephas Haywood Amartey, taking us through the principles of child development. We will definitely have to continue this conversation sometime next week on this channel. We'll take a quick break. When we're back, we switch focus to health. Don't go away.